Okay, we open up the June meeting of the Park and Recreation Board of Radnor Township. Thomas, we're going to hold up approval of minutes till we have one more member coming in. Tom, announcements?
Thank you. Our next Board of Commissioner meeting is scheduled for Monday, June 21st, here at the Radnor Township Building at 7 p.m. On that, slated to be on the agenda that night under Parks and Recreation are the announcement of the July 4th activities, the introduction of an ordinance for the Cowan Park Development Project, purchase of a comfort station and site amenities off of state contract, introduction of an ordinance for the award of signs from the DCED grant that we received, a resolution, which you'll be hearing more about shortly, for the Route 100 trail extension feasibility. And that's that for that. The Parks and Recreation Board, Wednesday, July 7th, 6:30 p.m. at the Willows Mansion will be our next meeting for that.
Any questions regarding the announcements? Tom, reports, activities report?
Yes, thank you. For my activities report, I'd first like to start off and mention we have our summer concert series starting on Wednesday, June 23rd. Very excited about that. It's going to be at Ithan Elementary School, 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. We have Steve and Steve keeping 60s music alive that evening, so we look forward to folks coming out. On Wednesday, June 30th, we are at Clemacrone Park from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. We have Melissa Martin and the Mighty Rhythm Kings. That's rock and jump, blues and swing. And on Wednesday, July 7th, we will have the Irish Music Festival with Irish dancing, music, and entertainment. And that's at the Willows Mansion. And note the time change, that's 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Our park and recreation programs, we're gearing up. The day camps and tot lot programs all begin on the 28th of June. So for lots of camps and programs will be starting in the next few weeks, so I would encourage residents to please drive slowly, specifically by the school and park areas. Just because the children are out of schools doesn't mean that there aren't a lot at those facilities taking part in programs. And we have our summer day camp will be at the high school. The tot lot is at Ithan, and then we'll have our playground programs at our regular 4 sites, Cowan, Odorosio, Beauconnor Park, and Clemacrone Park. We have a training at the Willows Mansion that takes place for our seasonal summer staff Thursday, June 24th through Saturday, June 26th. That includes emergency procedures, informational session on first aid CPR, policy review, security police, site visits and inspections, and some team building. We do have some 2010 discount coupons to some amusement parks while supplies last if individuals or families are interested. We have Great Excursion coming up to the Phillies versus the New York Mets on Friday, August 6th at Citizens Bank Park. There's a few seats left for that if anyone's interested. We also have a great excursion to the U.S. Open Tennis Tournament on Friday, September 3rd. That's in Flushing Meadows, New York, and we do have some seats available there, so we'd love to get our tennis enthusiasts out to enjoy that day. We had a trip on May 15th scheduled to the Baltimore Inner Harbor, which was canceled due to lack of registrations. An update on the football field at Beauconnor Park. We are aware that there are some drainage issues from springs and high water table, and the St. Catherine's football program has been notified, and they may have to limit play as far as just having practice only at the site, but we have coordinated finding alternate game sites for them and coordinating and working with Archbishop Carroll High School to use their practice area on Saturdays in the fall. On May 14th, we had a wonderful EAC Parks and Rec cleanup that involved the Radnor Middle School watershed students over at Ithan Valley Park. It was a great community day with environmental consultant John Monroe to address invasives and improve the trail areas in those parks. The Willows Cottage Energy Grant award of bids and passing of the ordinance for the contracts took place at the May 24th for introduction and was passed at the Monday, June 7th meeting. I'm in the process of trying to get in touch with Greg Pritchard to get an update on where we are with the Radnor Historical Trail signs. So I am looking forward to hearing from him and have reached out to him a few times. John Fisher, Bob Thomas, and I met and we spoke to school district officials about moving forward and speaking further regarding the Martha Brown's Woods extension, at which we were directed, and it looks like the plan will be to go to the School District Facilities Committee and speak to them about an easement agreement in September. We're also reaching back out to PennDOT to get clarification on our right-of-way issues, where we've had some unresolved legal response issues regarding the limited access right-of-way and the use of the deer tunnel. We had our Bishop Richard Allen Park dedication ceremony on Tuesday, June 1st at 10 a.m. My thanks to Ann Minicozy and Peggy Gaskins for their assistance. It was a wonderful community event, and I thank everyone who came out to join us that day. The Clement Crone basketball court repaving has been completed. I want to thank Clark Piat and the PAC 284 Tiger Cubs for their cleanup of the Connor Park and Philippone Park wetlands and watershed on Saturday, May 15th. The Radnor Wayne Little League committed to donating a fence and dugouts to the middle school softball complex, and the fences are in and look great. The Little League will be repairing the fence net at the Enke Park baseball complex to assist in preventing balls from going into the creek in the future. We did hold voting for the 6th Ward, 2nd Precinct on Tuesday, May 18th at the Radnor Activity Center at Sulpizio Gymnasium. Also, we had our Radnor Run Board had our kickoff sponsor recruitment event. It was last evening, June 9th, from 5:30 to 7. It was a wonderfully attended event, and I think it's a tremendous start to our Radnor Run campaign, and our event is scheduled for Sunday, October 31st this year. And I'd like to conclude by thanking the Boy Scout Troop 284 for performing trail improvement projects at Skunk Hollow Park on May 29th. And I'm happy to answer any other questions.
Any questions for Tom? Tom, I have one. As far as Bocana Field is concerned,
Yes.
how serious is the problem on this? Is this something we should be addressing? Is it going to get worse? Are we going to be losing a field?
I don't think we're going to lose the field. I know there's the one section of the field that the concern is because it's wet at the one area. The Parks crew and I and members of the Park and Recreation Board have met out there. We've looked at the situation. Paul's interested to see how it dries out based on the high current water table this summer with dry weather. But there's going to have to be some work done. We've had regrading in the budget for several years that had been deferred due to budget constraints. So it is an issue that we're going to need to have addressed in the future.
Hey, Tom?
I'm sorry.
Would it, with John Nagel here, is it any discussion that has taken place with regards to with the commissioners based on the report that we gave last meeting with the issues that are going on in South Devon and the drainage issues that are there, and what, if anything, you all feel we need to do or can do based on budget limitations and constraints and so forth?
Well, the discussions that have been had were really with the staff, not with the commissioners, but we had a similar circumstance over at Willows in front of the cottage. And Mayfield Garden donated the labor to dig a dry well and they actually trenched across and ran a pipe down. It doesn't go to a stream, but it goes down to a lower part of the property over by the edge of the property and bubbles up. So if we can get something like that to happen, I mean, I think that whole area is wet anyway.
Yeah.
We've always had problems there. But the answer to your question is no, not
Okay.
with the commissioners.
I guess you're saying at the Willows, they did a trench. I guess, is it conceivable that a trench could be drawn and directed to the creek that runs along there? Or
Well,
is that,
we've looked at.
am I jumping ahead? And-
No, well, you're not. That's one of the things that I was talking to staff about because, you know, I'm sure if you've been over the Willows, you notice that we're slowly losing the Willows as a wetland. And so we're talking about that. We had done something similar maybe 15 years ago and got jumped on by the DEP. That's why what we just did does not go to a stream. It just moves the problem to a less used location.
Okay.
Yeah. John, while you're still up there, I think the concern that we have is, as Tom illustrated and has indicated before, we've had this on our agenda for years, and it constantly get deferred, and we never got the money for it, we never got the budget for it. And I'm not quite sure it ever even got to the commissioners, to be quite frank to you. And the point is, now it's a problem.
Yep.
So, you know, that's
Oh,
where our
yeah.
concern is.
Yeah, I'm well aware of it.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's the only football field we really have, right?
Yep.
And St. Cat's plays there.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Any other questions for Tom on the,
One last follow-up on that is I did have a recent communication with an interested person from St. Catherine's who was going to speak to some of their contacts about the potential and ability, whether they can fundraise or add some expertise to potentially come in and do something over there sooner versus later to address the concerns. So I will keep the board updated to what I hear there.
With the, I guess the field trip, so to speak, that we took a month, 5-6 weeks ago, I mean, based on what it was back then versus what it is today, has it gotten any better? Has it gotten?
I'd have to follow up with Paul.
Okay.
But-
I mean, just be curious to see, you know, if
it's
with
drying out at
maybe
all.
the you know, with the winter we've had.
Sure.
Maybe the water
The
levels have
expectation
dropped a
is that
little bit.
that it's going to dry out.
Right.
It's just a matter of how much it dries out and how much that remains.
Tom,
Should
you
we-
mentioned that.
Tom, question?
I'm sorry.
I don't know if John can answer this. Has it gotten to the point where any dollar amounts have been set to the project?
That's what I was just gonna ask Tom, if somebody at St. Catherine's is asking and ready to raise some capital to help fix the problem, what are we talking about?
When we had that conversation, it was that, you know, we're going to have to bring someone in, most likely to address the situation and the problem, and at that point, get some estimates on what that's going to cost.
Would this be a project that would be done by outside contractors?
That was the discussions that I had with the Parks crew.
So would that be possible to begin that process of having someone?
I will
Come up
talk,
with-
to-
work up a
I will discuss that.
proposal?
We'll discuss that and then I'll report back to the board.
Yeah.
Okay, Tom, thanks for the activity report, appreciate it. Shade Tree Commission, any report?
Well, I don't have a report per se, other than had the opportunity to attend a couple shade tree meetings now, and I would just like everyone to know that, you know, the arboreal needs of the township are being well met by, what I was impressed by the care and diligence of that group and in their stewardship for the green things in Radnor that I didn't appreciate before I'd gone to their meetings. So I think they do a great job, and yeah, I'll hope to attend another meeting, not too soon, but yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Joe, appreciate that. School board report?
Thank you. We're still working on the budget. It'll be finalized by the school board at our business meeting on Tuesday, June 22nd. And kids are looking forward to being out of school,
Yes,
June
they are.
18th. And we're also in the middle of contract negotiations with the teachers. And that's it.
Great, thank you very much. EAC, any report from them?
No report.
Okay. Any other committee reports? And Commissioner update, Commissioner just stepped out, so we'll come back to that.
Minutes? Approval of minutes?
We do approve them.
Oh, that's right, we have a quorum now, good. Ask for approval of the minutes of the last meeting?
So moved.
Second?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
So done. Great. I don't believe we had any old business. We do have some, someone coming in, Cheryl, to give a presentation, so if you would be kind enough, thank you very much for coming tonight.
I'm sure you have this information, but I want you to gaze at the, is this on? I think it is, right? I'm with the Friends of the Radnor Trails. My name is Cheryl Tamol. I'm with the Friends of the Radnor Trails, and we're proposing a resolution to support the commencement of a feasibility study for construction of a multi-purpose trail within the SEPTA 100 line. The 100 line is the trolley that runs from Upper Darby to Norristown. It has excess right-of-way. And we want the authorization of the Township Administration to begin discussions with interested parties regarding the feasibility of such a trail. These parties would be SEPTA and pretty much SEPTA. At any rate, a sketch drawing of the proposed trail extension is here. And I'm not John Fisher or Bob Thomas. Cheryl Tamola will be on hand to represent the Friends of Radnor Trails and address any questions that you may have regarding this matter. So this is just we kind of need, in order to pursue this funding, we need you folks to say you like the idea. And,
Cheryl, when you're talking about funding,
yeah.
what are you talking about? Is this for grants that we're going to go after?
Yes, yes. No township money would be involved. This is we're going after transportation funds. So that's why we need everybody's stamp of approval on this so that we can say everybody's behind it. So first we're coming to you. If we get your approval, then we go to the commissioners, and then we are free to move ahead and submit these applications for grant money.
If I can, just a couple things that might help. With the recommendation from the park board, the discussions included it not costing the township any funding, but it would be staff time in order to put the proper pieces in place so that when grant funding is available, that those parties, you'll be able to come to the table and say, yes, there is an interested group. We can access money to perform a feasibility study. And Bob Thomas, who's been doing this for a long time, was very crucial in helping us come together in the concept with the resolution, and John Fisher as well.
And remember that Bob Thomas also designed the existing trail, so he's got good credentials.
Okay, so this will take us from the Radnor Trail, and the Radnor-Tinicum Trail will be all new.
Right.
And that'll lead us into Cobb's Creek?
Essentially, this what we would like to do is connect our little trail to the East Coast Greenway. It's a long-term vision, but I think that you have to start with these things incrementally. And the way that I see this with Bob Thomas, and I've talked to Bob about this, is that we want to be poised and ready for action. Should there be any money, we want to be ready to jump right in, right? Okay.
How long?
Cheryl,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, how long does the feasibility study take to complete usually?
I don't know. Do you know how long a feasibility would take?
It depends on the scope of the feasibility study, but generally, you're looking at between 6 months and a year for a feasibility study at this length.
Cheryl, can you just point as to where exactly the trail that you're talking kind of, I mean, there's a lot of dotted lines, okay.
Well, essentially, let me
Now,
No, you're
the
good.
Radnor Trail, is that up right to your left of your finger?
Here, essentially, this is Radnor Chester Road. The R100 line, please, get myself oriented here, is,
It's about where the R is.
where the R is.
Okay.
trail
Right,
to Villanova.
okay.
Any other questions?
Okay,
Cheryl, thank you.
thank you.
At this point, I'll entertain a motion to, of support for the proposal and for the concept of the trail.
I'll make that motion.
Seconded?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye? You have our support.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're more than
Maybe
welcome.
I'll enjoy being on it when we,
Can't wait.
I hope it doesn't take as long as the last one. That's all I'm saying.
John, you were out of the room when we asked for a commissioner's update. Do we have one?
The only real update I mentioned was we were able to get Mayfield Garden to take care of that problem for you at the Willows Cottage, or the Willows Park. Saw in the packet, there's a event at Kreuzberg, it's at Dog Park. They're having a fundraiser. Dale Leach is gonna be there as a meet and greet and raise funds for one of the shelters. And that's this Saturday. Saturday evening is the Jazz Festival. So hopefully we'll all see you there. The other news, unless you've been asleep for a couple days, you probably know already, is that we hired a township manager Monday night. A township finance director. Sorry,
You know
Bob.
what?
He's already there.
Was he gone? Was he let go and now all of
He
a
was
sudden
out for a day.
You don't read the papers, you
Had
don't know
been
what's going
asleep for
on
a couple
here.
days.
Well, we had one of those contingency contracts. Anyway, a finance director, and that's exciting news. Things are starting to calm down here in the building and seeing motion forward, and that's great. The budget is, next week is the Budget Finance Committee, the Citizens Budget Committee public meeting. I would strongly suggest some of you are here since they're talking about budgets, and budgets, as you know, the parks have been one of the major beasties that lost funding over the last 10 years.
Yes, we've gotten beaten up quite a bit.
Yeah, so you need to be there for that. And I guess that's it. I'm sure I'll remember something later.
Okay, thank you. Any old business? Any new business?
I know I was a little bit late and I apologize, but I'm sure it was mentioned about the upcoming Garrett Hill 4th of July parade during Tom's remarks, but if it wasn't, I just wanted to encourage everybody to attend July 2nd, or 3rd. It's a Saturday this year, and great parade, and one of the things that make our community very special and unique. And I know that they have a website up, and they are accepting donations for those who are so inclined. But again, I just encourage everyone to attend the 4th of July or 3rd of July parade. Thank you.
Great, Anthony, thank you very much. Move to adjourn? Second?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you, everybody.